Good evening, everyone. Yeah, good evening. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the future of sustainable products between regulation and market surveys. So, in general, what is the role of certification in all of that, and how we can make a better sustainable future? So let's start in the actions that the European Union is doing right now to increase building energy efficiency, which we can see that Europe, even in renovation, invested between 85 to 90 million euro annually to increase energy efficiency in building, and a report says that it needs to invest over 275 annually to attain its objective in net zero building in 2030. For construction, it's even more because they are investing over 700 billion euro in 2019, and they need more than that annually to attain their objective of net zero building in 2030. So now we know we need to invest, but where to invest? And here we can see in this graph that you can see that the HVAC sector represents around 40% of the building energy consumption, and for some countries we need more and more cooling, it's up to 70%. So from this HVAC sector, as we can see on the photo below, that the ventilation represents more than 34% of this sector. So the mechanical ventilation is an important factor in the HVAC consumption, and so investing in a more efficient ventilation system is the way to increase building energy efficiency in the future. So how we do that? How to increase the efficiency of ventilation product in the market? Well, we have two ways that can be done by the state, either by incentive or by regulation. By regulation, we can do, for example, like international framework of the International Energy Conservation Code, where they set a minimum of 5 to 10% of efficiency requirement for ACs. Or what we have in eco-design also for air conditioning, where we set a minimum for performance of this air conditioning. We can even do also incentive like we have in the European Union for air conditioners in different type of heat pump and air conditioning, either by subsidy or tax reduction or loans to increase to send people to invest in more efficient HVAC unit so they could provide profit from this subsidies. So this is good. Giving incentives or setting regulation or forcing people to have sustainable, invest in sustainable products is good, but how do we control that? We are talking about air handling units since we talk about ventilation. In Europe, only in 2022, more than 200,000 units has been sold in Europe. So how can the government verify that this unit is compliant with the rules that they set? So the only way to do that is by using third-party certification. Why using third-party certification? Because we know the government need to verify these 200,000 units, they need to test 200,000 units per year, which is not possible physically. So the third-party certification go with a method that we call in Eurovent certification fishnet, where we start by data checking. So we check the data of the manufactured unit, and we compare it in the market to see if the unit is compliant or not with the actual rules of physics of the units in the market. Then we do market surveillance. We compare this unit to other units in the market, and we spot from each catalog the units that show higher performance, and in this case we send it to testing, because we will not test it all units in the market, but we will apply percentages, and we test these percentages, and by that we determine which unit is representing more or less performance that they are presenting in the catalog. But also, especially for type of products like air handling unit, where we don't have mass production, but most probably the unit is manufactured for each and different project, the software certification is very important. This also we certify the software. So we check the software, we compare it for the experimental result, and in this case we'll be confident in the result that's going from the software or the manufacturer. Then we also do factory audit. So we audit the factory, we check the manufacturing line, and if the factory is compliant with all the rules. And with all of these factors, we construct our certification fishnet, where with testing, the audit of the factory, the data check, we can be sure that the unit are presenting the performance as the manufacturer is declaring, and by that the manufacturer will get their certificate and the unit will be certified. So until this, it is good. We are helping the state, we are verifying the performance of the unit of the manufacturer without being forced to test all these units, so we're providing solution in that. But we said we want to go even more, because when we certify the performance, when we provide on our website performance of the unit, this is fine, but this does not represent a visual value, because not all people will understand what the performance of this unit means. So this is why we wanted to even go furthest to create something more visual and that can speak even to end user, not only to manufacturer and designer. And this is why we created energy label. And we created energy label in summer condition and winter condition, where we consider air velocity, heat recovery efficiency, flow resistance, and fan efficiency ratio to determine a class for the unit performance from E to A+, and in this case you will have a visual to compare two units with this energy label, even if you don't understand what are the performance of the unit are. So this is for the air handling unit itself, but we said also there is some component in the air handling units that are also much important and which have direct liaison with our indoor air quality, which are, for example, the filter. So this is why we created also this energy label for filters, classifying it also from E class to A+, which is more visual to the end user also, which can know which performance of the filter is better, even if you don't understand what is the ISO PM1 means and what the filter performance means. So then we said, yes, we certified the performance, we even created energy label, now it is more visible, but we know that the air handling unit is the first barrier between the outdoor pollution and the indoor air quality. And even more, after the COVID started and all the research that started on the movement of aerosol and bacteria inside the building, the ventilation also have a great impact on the circulation of viruses and bacteria inside the building itself. So we wanted to, so people wanted to know even more. So I don't want to only to know if the ventilation system is working or not. They want to know what is its effect in our health, and is the system is really enough for us to have a nice environment inside the building that we are in. So this is why we created the hygienic option inside the air handling unit program. So in the hygienic option, we verify 52 points of verification, starting even for the planning for the manufacturing of the unit, passing by the unit housing, so the materials and to the construction, then to the composition from the filter to the cooling and heating core, humidifier, to even to the delivery of the unit. And based on this 52 verification point, we class the unit in levels, so it will have level 1, level 2, or level 3, and even for the lowest level, level 1, we already have, it's already been a very good unit since we have at least 3 in terms of corrosive class, TB3, in terms of terminology class, EPM1 for filter class, and etc. So this classification, I blurred the logo because we're not allowed to put logos of company, but you don't recognize it, I am sure it's well hidden. So you will see on the hygienic unit the logo with the type of stars that represent what is the level of hygienic that the unit have. So you have the level 1, which usually we demanded for office buildings, for schools, etc., normal building, that we have 2 stars, level 2, which is complying with VTI 6022, and this is more for hospitals. Then we have the level 3 with the highest level of hygienic ventilators, which also comply with VTI 6022 and DIN 1946, and we were talking about white rooms or operation rooms. As you recall, in the first opening presentation in the conference yesterday, there was a doctor talking about using AI to control infection inside hospitals. So this hygienic unit is one solution for that, where we are in level of hygienic that it's necessary for hospital rooms and operation rooms. So where we can see the value of certification, we can see the value of certification when we take the data of the units sold in Europe in terms of class. We can see that in Europe we have 45% of A+ class and 25%. So we have more than 65% of the unit in the market that are above A and A+. We also have E-class and D-class, but don't forget that Europe is the old country, the old continent, as we say. So we have a lot of very old buildings that you cannot even touch, and this is what represent the E-class and D-class unit, which represent more than 10%. And why is that? This is because we have more than 70% of the air handling unit in the European market which are certified. So this is why we are able to push the market to go even more towards sustainable product and more efficient product. So our what we say is always seek the value, not the price. Why? Because even if you have a higher price in the beginning for a more efficient unit, it's better to go with a high efficient unit because you will gain this cost with energy gaining and efficiency through the year. And now we know the energy prices are going up and up. In this case, you will restore the price that you paid in the beginning by choosing a more efficient unit. So first go toward a certified unit where you will know that this unit have exactly the performance that they're declaring. Then between the certified unit, go toward more efficient unit because even you have a bigger first price in the beginning for first investment, you will have a very fast return of investment in terms of what you gain in terms of consumption in energy. So I will go a little bit faster. So this is a case study that we wanted to present to you for the unit in the market that we were tested for certification, and to show you what is the application of difference of performance that you can find in the market. So in this unit, for example, when we tested the pressure drop, we found that it have 80 Pascal more in terms of pressure drops than what it is declared, and the actual performance of the energy recovery is 72% compared to what is declared with the 78%. So to study what is implicated in difference, only this 80 Pascal of deviation will represent an increase in electrical consumption, which is around more than 6,000 kilowatt-hour per year. And considering the energy recovery, only 6% difference in energy recovery declaration will represent more than 26,000 kilowatt-hour per year. So these together will represent more than 30,000 kilowatt-hour per year. Now, I took this from the internet for the electricity and gas prices in Greece, and it is not very high. You don't have a large cost for electricity and gas, so this is why we can find an excessive cost of around 3,000 euro per year. Even it is not very high, but it's still an additional cost. But for example, if we take it on UK prices or other, we can get around to between 10,000 and 15,000 euro per year for difference in energy prices. So what you need to look more here is the number of kilowatt-hour of difference does it represent between the difference of what the manufacturer had declared and what was the actual performance of the unit. And if you are searching to use more, to have more sustainable building, you don't only look to the cost, but also to how much you gain in terms of energy over the year. So as a conclusion, we have all a role to have more efficient building and to increase the efficiency of the HVAC product. So how to do that? We need to, the roles need to be between the government and also the society itself. So the government need to set the incentive and the regulation, but also you need parties to verify that this product in the market are more compliant with this regulation, and this is what the third-party certification product provide. And also, as you saw from the market surveillance data and how many products with high efficiency in the market are in Europe today for the air handling unit, you can discover the certified product tend to increase the percentage of high performance product in the market and burden government on this side. And that's it. Thank you.
thank you, Dr. NOUR EDDINE. First of all, we would like a lot to express our gratitude because you represent Eurovent. Eurovent is a well-recognized organization in Greece. The consulting engineers and in general, all the people working on an HVAC knows, so it was a great pleasure to see some more insights, especially for hygienic specifications about the hygienic air handling units is something that in Greece is increasing year by year. We are searching. There are, of course, as we know, standards, but I think it's important to have a certification procedure like we saw. Are there any questions for Dr. NOUR EDDINE? Yes.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Just one question that's wondering me. You said, of course, that you need to validate, for example, from companies their softwares, how they're going to make the calculations and value them through their testing measures and so on. So that means that if a company wants to improve their softwares and so on, you need to re-evaluate them. And one more thing, sorry to be this type of person, but if a company wants to alter a little bit the algorithm of the software and somebody finds it out, apart from, as I understand, they can sue them for fraud, but apart from that, is there something else as well? Are they fearing of something else? Because, I'm trying to find out exactly what is the severity of these things, which are very important and very crucial for our industry.
Okay, these have two parts, and the answer of these two parts you can find it online in our DCR, so it's published and it's available for everyone. But to be clear, first on the first part for the software verification, what we do is we compare between the results that we get from the software and the results that we get from the experimental results. So even if you alter the software, we will compare the next year with the next version of the software, and we will see if we will give the same result or not. So this is software verification is done every year. So if you modify it or not, it will be verified every year to check if you alter the software or not. This is first. On your second point, of course, we have a challenging procedure. So if someone doubted that someone have wrong information in the software, of course, they could tell us that, and we'll check it. And in Eurovent, the procedure, they will stop the certification of the product if they discover that it is right, and then we will start the procedure, but they will lose the certification from the moment we discover that there will be an altercation in the software. And the procedure for all that is well cleared in our DCR online.
And thank you for the very interesting presentation. As a person, I'm ignorant of the Eurovent because first I'm an architect, and second I was working in the UK, so I wasn't. My question is there a relation between the Passive House certified units and Eurovent, or the Passive House certified units, what kind of classification have in Eurovent, if there is any correlation at all?
Okay, there is no correlation. The difference between Passive House and Eurovent, first, it is the points that are verified during certification. So Passive House verifies the unit itself and not the whole catalog. That's why they only have unit testing. So what we do is we certify the manufacturer. How? By doing the certification, efficient with the certification of software, of unit, of factory, auditing the factory, verifying the data, making market surveillance. So we certify the whole range of the unit of the manufacturer. So Passive House work per unit and per project, and their testing points are more limited compared to what Eurovent verified during the certification part. So we do not certify the same performance.
Thank you so much for the interesting presentation. I would like to ask something practical. How much for a manufacturer that produces air handling units, how many time more or less could take to be, if they are not certified, they belong to that 29% that are not certified. How much time could take in order to make all the processes? If we can have a sense of the cost about that.
Okay, well, in time of certification for air handling unit program, it takes between 1 year and 2 years to be certified. And this is depending a lot also from the reactivity of the manufacturer. Because when you want to test, you need to send the unit to be tested. So how much you are fast to send this unit to provide the necessary logistics, so the unit got the laboratory, the faster you will get your result and you will get your certificate. The cost is also dependent on how many units you have and how many tests you will get every year. Because the number of tests that you will get is calculated as a percentage on the number of products that you have. So for us, there is fixed fees annually between 7,000 and 10,000 euros, and then the fees will be the testing fees of the unit itself. So this is dependent on each manufacturer.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Dr.